Hi, my name is Brandon Ford. I'm doing my presentation on the movie Rudy for Com 302. Rudy is about a football player who has to go and try against his all and I'll give all his might to try and make the football team at Notre Dame in the mid 1970s. The film showcases his journey and gives inspiration to those to show that nothing is impossible, even for the one that is told he can't do it over and over again, that if you believe you can do it, you will succeed. My thesis is, after viewing the inspirational tale of Rudy Rudiger in the movie Rudy, nonverbal information processing, communication in relationships, and difficult situations are the three topics most important to communication displayed throughout the course of the main character's journey. Starting off with nonverbal information processing. Beginning of the movie, Rudy watches football with his family. It is nonverbally understood of his passion for Notre Dame, along with his father's love of football. Rudy embodies that obsession and goes through the cognitive steps that are showcased in Holman's Chapter 7, Information Processing and Interpersonal Communication, and that shows that he has set this for his mind in his future. Rudy's high school career comes to an end. He doesn't have the grades for Notre Dame. He has to internally accept that information and work the steel mills along with his family and the other men of the town, which hold off his dreams. While living in South Bend, he works as a groundskeeper for Notre Dame Stadium. Fortune, the head groundskeeper, communicates with Rudy non-verbally by leaving him a blanket and key so that he doesn't have to sneak through the window at night, and gives him warmth so that he can have somewhere to stay and not bounce from couch to couch. Rudy returns home to hand his father a letter stating his acceptance to Notre Dame, and it is non-verbally understood the importance of that letter to his father, and his older brother sits back and takes in the moment of that non-verbal communication between Rudy and his father. Rudy's teammates throughout his whole football career um, understand his passion and play through his hard work, dedication, and doing his job, and non-verbally always just doing what he does and taking direction, never complaining, and that stood out to a lot of people. When he quits the team and returns near the climax, it is communicated how tough his heart is. They use this opportunity to get him onto the field and show their immense respect for him. Again, this ties very well in with Chapter 7 of the Holman book, Information Processing, tying very well with nonverbal information processing with all the cognitive steps that were showcased throughout the film of nonverbal information processing. The second point are communication in relationships. Rudy's communication with his brothers is very intense. They do not believe in him and talk down on him. One older brother constantly picks at him for his dreams, and the other is secretly dating his fiancee behind his back. The older brother, who harbors resentment towards Rudy, serves as a secondary antagonist for Rudy's determination. They are not close, but by the end of the movie, you see Rudy's older brother show him respect because he watched his young brother from a little kid up do what he always wanted to do and succeed at it. Rudy's best friend early on is Pete, who is his confidant. Pete believes in Rudy when no one else does and communicates that to him. They are close and share a passion for football in Notre Dame. Pete buys Rudy a gift to showcase his close relationship to him. Rudy and Fortune forge an impactful relationship, which goes from stranger to mentorship. Fortune takes Rudy under his wing and mentors him and coaches him about life and being a man. He refuses to allow Rudy to ever be down on himself when Rudy has doubt. Rudy meets D-Bob, who becomes his next great friend after Pete's death. Their relationship starts off as a tutor for Rudy and a wingman for D-Bob, but this relationship develops into dependence upon each other as they communicate their appreciativeness for each other. Rebecca Rubin's work on relationship development in the International Encyclopedia of Communication ties very well with these things, showing appreciation in relationships, how strangers can go from doing a service for each other to tying into dependence on one another and creating that bond and developing that relationship that just forces you to become closer and closer to that person. My third point is difficult situations. Rudy's best friend, Pete, is killed in a work accident. Difficulty to internalize his heavy loss. Like a brother, Pete is the only person to ever take Rudy serious, and that is stated early on. Rudy feels alone on his journey afterwards and makes a difficult decision to move away from home and to keep his promise to Pete. Rudy, once accepted into college at Holy Cross, struggles to pay tuition and keeps himself afloat by doing odd jobs and working the stadium. Rudy learns through Debob that he is dyslexic, giving him a disability, and why his whole scholastic career has been a struggle. But Rudy will not take that as a crutch and works harder to overcome that. He constantly applies to Notre Dame and keeps getting rejected, which enables Rudy to take that difficult situation and just work harder and do better until he does get accepted. Rudy is never taken serious as a football player from his kid all the way to high school, all the way to Notre Dame, and all the players and coaches around him always show that they don't take him serious, but he earns the respect by just working hard, never complaining, and being the toughest member on the team, even if he's not the best. And that ties in very well with Murdoch's work on making difficult decisions and social work on his peer review article, showing that by making difficult decisions that can change the course of your life, you never know what can become of yourself and who you are by testing yourself and testing your will. And his work ties very well in with the movie Rudy. After viewing the inspirational tale of Rudy Rudiger in the movie Rudy, nonverbal information processing, communication in relationships, and difficult situations are the three topics most important to communication displayed throughout the course of the main character's journey. Again, nonverbal information processing and all of the different encodings that take place in the movie for Rudy to internalize. Communication in relationships with his brother, Fortune, his best friends, even his teammates, and difficult situations like losing his best friend, having to move on his own, and just find shelter and work hard. Those are all the things that make this movie great and give into those types of communication, as well tying in very well with my sources. Thank you for watching me and listening, and hopefully you learned something.